So picture this as the wall in your home. Now we're using a sheet of plywood here, which is great for hanging anything into. More likely you're probably going to be fastening into drywall, and you want to take care to find studs.
Sure.
Use screws long enough to actually catch that stud. So probably about a 2.5 inch screw. But for the purposes of demonstrating this today, it's easiest to just use a sheet of plywood that we can set right up here on the table. So let's get going.
In addition to our prepped wood planks and the screws that Blake mentioned, we'll also need a drill and something to evenly space the wood boards, either a level or pre-cut spacer.
So the first way I'm going to show you is just very basic horizontal cladding of some planks on the wall. And we've got a couple pieces here that we're going to use to help us keep everything nice and spaced. This real simple application can work anywhere in your home. We've got it happening in our classroom over there. A lot of our customers do this and send us pictures. You can find them all over our website. It really looks great. So the first thing you want to do is measure out your boards to the space you're covering. Start in the middle and make sure that piece that's right at eye level is going to be nice and level. And then we'll build up and down from there. So we're just going to screw this directly into our wall. Of course, with this old wood, I like to drill a pilot hole first. I don't want to split anything. So one thing to keep in mind is that these boards aren't going to be dead flat, and your wall's probably not going to be dead flat. Luckily, the wood's soft enough and it's got enough flex that we can probably contour it to the wall.
Blake proceeds to screw the wood boards into our makeshift wall. He recommends drilling into every other stud, or about every 3 to 4 feet. He is using a couple pre-cut spacers to make sure the spacing is even between the boards. Another option is to butt the boards up together with no space in between.
One thing that we see folks do is paint the wall a really bold color.
Okay, yeah.
And then leave a gap so that bold color kind of pops through. Sky's the limit.
Ceiling's the limit. All right, Blake, we've done a few pieces here, enough to show what it's gonna look like in a home. It's really cool, it's really unique, but I hear you have something else for us today too.
Yeah, let's take it up a notch.
In case you haven't figured it out yet, Blake has a thing for creative workshop projects. Like, really creative. The second home project he's showing me is all about creating a cool chevron type pattern with scrap wood.
This could be a great headboard, it could be a bulletin board, it could be a piece of art. You could really do a lot of things with this panel.
If you're crazy like Blake, you could even create an entire wall out of it.
The first thing I want to do is just create a nice center line dividing this in half. So this is 18 inches and half of that is, Ryan?
9.
All right, just checking.
Smarter than a 5th grader, or at least a 2nd grader, maybe.
Blake marks our plywood in 2 places and uses a straight edge to create a center line. He's planning to leave this wood raw instead of treating it with oil or polyway. He's got an affinity for that rustic look, I guess.
All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is just start chopping our pieces. It's gonna make the whole project go a little smoother, and it's gonna make everything a little more uniform. We're gonna be cutting 45-degree angles to create this chevron pattern.
Okay.
So I wanna start with just cutting one of my pieces at a 45-degree angle. This piece is gonna catch the line right here. So we'll just hold that right on the line. And then mark our first cut, flush with the edge. Pretty good. So we'll use this piece to set up the saw with a stop so that we can create a bunch more pieces just like it.
Once all of the pieces are cut, we're just using small finish nails and some wood glue to attach them. And when I say we,
No, that's a hard wood.
I mean Blake.
So we'll do a little switcheroo.
All right. Hey, why don't I glue and you hammer for a bit?
I think that's a good
sounds
idea.
Blake.
Yeah.
So you don't have to show off.
Pretty soon, our decorative chevron board is taking shape. All that's left is a few end pieces.
So then as I get down to the end here, I want to make sure that we mark and trim our pieces before we attach them.
Some guys make it look so easy.
There we go. We've learned how to clean and prep wood to use on an accent wall at home. We have a small piece and a large piece, all with just some reclaimed wood and a little bit of elbow grease.